16th of June. 16th of June, Rabbi Moore, Parsha Hashavua with Rashi, Shelach. Shalom Aleichem, Rabbi Amari. How are you?
How are you?
Baruch Hashem, doing very well.
What's going on here?
Can you hear me?
Using my microphone. I don't know, I'm not getting reps.
Can you hear me?
1 second.
I can hear you, a little weak, but I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Any better? I think you better as well. Okay.
Okay, Chumash.
Listen, you got to be strong today because it's the end of the week.
That's right.
Okay. Right. Let's go. I'd like actually, for just a bit of a change, I want to go to the end of the Parsha, the Parsha of Tzitzis.
Ah,
So
Okay.
37.
Pasuk 37. Yeah, Maftir.
Tetvav.
Tesvav, Ramadan. Mayor.
whoops, hold on. Lamed
By the
Zayin.
way, Louis, have you any idea who this Robert guy who came was yesterday?
Yeah, I think he lives in America.
That's what it looked like by the style of
He
style of the house.
it's like 4:00 in the morning for him, which is why he stays quiet because he doesn't want to wake up his family.
I see. I was wondering. Yeah, he was obviously listening from his bed. That was not noticed. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, he comes on and off.
Has he ever been here in Israel?
I've never met him in person.
Oh, okay. Fine. Okay, look at Maya. Pasuk Lamed Zayin. Vayomer
Okay.
Hashem.
Vayomer Hashem Moshe Lemor. So Hashem said to Moshe, saying, Daber el b'nei
By
Yisrael.
the way, this pasuk Vayomer Hashem Moshe Lemor is quite a rare pasuk. Vayadaber Hashem Moshe Lemor appears 70 or more times in the Torah.
Oh, yeah.
Different things. Here it says Vayomer Hashem Moshe Lemor. And only certain mitzvahs were given by Kodesh Baruch Hu were preceded by Vayomer. You have Bris Milah, all the way back in Lech Lecha, and you have over here the mitzvah Tzitzis, which is interesting because generally Vayedaber denotes something, a harsh form of speech, and Lemor denotes the softer form. In addition, Vayedaber generally refers to Torah Shebiksav, Lemor to say, which is Torah Shebal Peh. Okay, but here, whatever, the Mefarshim dwell on this. Why Tzitzis is different. Okay, anyway, Vayomer Hashem Moshe Lemor.
Okay. It says, Daber el b'nei Yisrael, v'amatar v'amarta alehem, yasu lachem tzitzit, al kanfei b'geihem l'dorotam, v'natnu al tzitzit hakanaf b'til techela. Okay, so speak to the children of Israel, and you shall say to them, make for yourself, for themselves, it's plural, I guess, tzitzit on the corners of your garments for their generations. And
Their generation.
Their generation?
The Dorei Sam, otherwise the Dorei Seichem would be for your generations.
Oh, okay. Then there's a mistranslation here. Okay.
Oh, yeah? Oh, right.
Well, it says
I have their generations.
throughout their generations, it says.
Yeah, that's what I have. And that's not correct?
No, it is their generations. What do you have, Mayor?
Throughout their generations. Yes.
Correct, right. Yeah, I thought you said your generations. I thought you said. Anyway.
Oh, maybe I did. I don't remember. Okay.
Okay.
They're not new, and they shall put on the tzitzit on the corner a thread of techela is blue.
Oh, we're going to see in Rashi.
Okay.
What chayla is.
Okay. So it says, let's see, Rashi. Yasulachem tzitzit, you shall make, they shall make, I think you're right, maybe I did say yourselves, and they shall make for themselves tzitzit. Okay, al shem hapetilim hateluyim ba. Okay. So al shem for the name of.
Because of.
Oh, because of. Oh, that's interesting. Hapetilim, the strings are suspended in it, I guess, or from it. Okay. Kemo vayikacheni b'tzitzit roshi. Roshi. So kamo, it's like, and he took the tzitzit, whether
It took me by the, how should we call it?
He calls it a lock of hair.
Yeah, the locks of my head.
Oh, okay, of my head.
Maybe it's, I'm not sure. Let me see, I don't know how to translate it. Means by the hairs, the side hairs, the side locks of my head.
Oh, okay. Very good. Davar acher, another way of saying.
So according to this first chart, tzitzis means fringes.
Okay. Oh, okay. So davar acher tzitzit, it means tzitzit, fringes. Okay.
Now that explains what tzitzit means.
Al shem or item oto, because of you shall see it.
In other words, it's called tzitzis on account, it says, ur isem oisa, you shall see them. You should observe them. Kamoi meitzitz min hacharakim. Kosh Baruch Hu, it says, is appears from the, call it? Harakim are the
lattices.
apertures.
So I'm a bit confused. It's tzitzit is a singular word then?
Yes.
Oh, it's not plural. Oh, okay.
Well, when we say fringes, that's plural. That's you should say you should make sure you for yourself fringe.
Well, the tzitzit is made of.
Yeah, well, Sulahem, they should make for them tzitzis.
Isn't there a word tzit, which would be singular?
No, but then it would
The
it would be called tzitzois, not tzitzis. It could well be that it's a term, tzitzis is a term referring to the collection of the
strings.
Yeah, because that whole thing, when we're going to see, then it means tzitzis are made up of the knots and the strings. But the combination of the two, that's called tzitzis.
Okay. Very interesting. Okay, so the next Rashi is Techelet. She translates turquoise wool. It said Seva Yaroch Shel Chilazon. It's a greenish color of the chizalon.
So that was a certain kind of some sort of fish or some sort of sea creature which produces its blood has an turquoise, aquamarine color.
Okay.
Blue-green.
That's interesting. Okay.
And the Gemara here, the Sifsei Chacham brings the Gemara. Gemara Menachos, the Gemara says that Cheles doime le'yam, yam doime le'rakia, rakia doime le'kisa hakoved. The tzitzis, by seeing the tzitzis, one is reminded of the sea, and the sea color, the sea blue reminds one of the sky, because it's a reflection of the sky, because water naturally has no color. Okay, and the sky is doime to the kisa hakoved.
Wow.
What I want to say, it's very interesting. There is no natural vegetation which has the color tcheles. You do not find turquoise in the natural anything that grows, flowers or plants, anything like that. You do not find any plant or flower which has the color tcheles. And that's why Chazal said, tcheles doime le'yam. Because this color is purely person will prompt person's thoughts to think of the sea, because that's a sea color. And therefore, as a result, he'll think by thinking of the sea, he'll think of the sky. When he thinks of the sky, he'll think of the Kisa Kovet of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. By the way, I think I mentioned this maybe in previous years or other occasions. There's an interesting interesting story. Rabbi Dessler, who compiled the Michtav Melio, actually he didn't himself write it, his Talmidim wrote it. But Dessler he passed away in 1954. He was a brilliant thinker. And it's interesting, he, especially post-war, he had a certain approach to Musa, which was like a very novel approach. Upon him, during the years of the Second World War, he'd managed to flee from Lithuania to London, to England. And he basically took university students, college students, and he learned with them. Anyway, they were learning this Gemara about Tcheles doime le'yam, yam doime le'rakia, rakia doime le'kisa hakoved. Okay, so one of the Talmidim, very innocently but seriously, he says, Rebbe, isn't it a little bit far-fetched? The person's going to look. He's going to look at the color turquoise, aquamarine, and he says, that's domer to the sea, domer to the sky, similar to the Kisei HaKoved. He start thinking of Kisei HaKoved. So Dessler answered this bracha quite sharply, but it wasn't meant to be a dig, but he said he basically wanted to get his point across. He says, there's a Gemara which says that somebody who looks at a woman's clothing, that Chas v'Shalom will lead him to do terrible aveiros. So Rav Dessler asked this Talmud, do you understand such a Gemara? So the Talmud says, well, Rebbe, I'm not holding by that, but I can understand it. So Dessler says, I can't. A person's just going to look at the clothing of a woman, Chas v'shalom, is going to come to do tremendous aveirus. Elomai, it's where your mind is holding. Somebody who's thinking of ruchnius, right? Then his mind will be attuned. If he sees a color blue, right, or this color turquoise, well, that's an interesting color, and he'll make the connection. Okay. By the way, this is very nogea to actually next week's parsha, because one of the things which Korach came along and did was he came and brought all these guys dressed in turquoise cloaks, talesim of tcheles, and he asked Moshe Rabbeinu, "Is this chayav b'tzitzis or not?" Moshe Rabbeinu said, "Yes, most definitely." So Korach laughed at him. If the whole idea of this tcheles is to remind one of Kodesh Baruch Hu, yeah, then if you have a whole talis made of tcheles, it shouldn't need tzitzis. So what's the answer? Obviously, Korach was wrong. So the interesting point is as follows. I mean, I'm just giving you that example. Is a person has a four-cornered garment, right? So it tells you put on tzitzis and put on put one or two strings. Two strings have to, 2 out of the 4 should be made of tcheles. What's wrong with wearing a tcheles baseball cap? Person should said instead of wearing tzitzis, you should put on a turquoise aquamarine baseball cap, and that will remind him of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Will the person wearing such a baseball cap, will he also make that same connection or not? Will he think of the of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Kisei HaKavod, or will he think of the Blue Lagoon? Right? What would he think of? So the answer is, only with tzitzis would he make the connection. Why? Because since tzitzis is a mitzvah, there's already an aspect where he's thinking of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mm-hmm. Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu give me a mitzvah like this to put on tcheles in my tzitzis? See, he's thinking of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If it's not a mitzvah, a person won't necessarily make the connection. His son puts on a turquoise baseball cap, so it's a nice color. To make the connection that this is Doma Dayam, Yom to the Rakia, it's Doma to Kisei HaKavod, his mind is not on the, shall we call it, on a godly wavelength, right? Because he's not doing anything spiritual. He's not doing a mitzvah b'chlal. It's only because he's doing a mitzvah thereby that he starts thinking, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu give me this mitzvah? And then he starts saying, because he's already attuned, he's tuned into thinking of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But if it's not a mitzvah, it's a nice color and that's it. We'll see, Be'ez Hashem, we'll speak about it next week. Korach, what was Korach's, what point did he want to bring across by saying this thing? But that's a separate issue. But I'm making a point over here is that only because tzitzis is a mitzvah that a person is going to make the connection. Okay? Next pasuk. Elu, pasuk lamed tes.
We didn't do the gematria.
I'm sorry? This next pasuk I have.
We didn't finish the Rashi.
It was Charteme Kol Mitzvot Hashem. It talks about gematria a little bit. It says...
on that. I've got it on lamed tes.
No, we're on lamed...
What do you have over here? Because I have that Rashi on Pasuk Lamed Tes.
Oh,
What do you have? What do you have? Huh?
I have it on Lamed Ches.
and
What?
Chet,
How
yeah.
How does the Rashi read?
It
Like
says,
Meir said.
"U'zchartem kol mitzvot Hashem," and then it goes on. She minyan gematria shel tzitzit. Although he's spelling it tzadi yud tough.
Right.
In
know,
the Torah,
I see.
there's only one yud.
I know that.
Okay.
That's one of the questions.
Oh,
But anyway,
okay.
the way it's read is
It's tzitzit. Tzadi yud
yuds.
tav. Yeah. Oh, and then it goes on to that's the 600. Then it talks
Right.
about the Shmona Chutin, 8 strings, Chamishim Kisharim, the 5 knots, Chamisha, I'm sorry, yes, Kisharim, and Hare Taryag, and you have 613. She comments is the number of Torah commandments.
Right. So thereby, that's by seeing the tzitzis, the person will be reminded of all the mitzvahs of Hashem.
Mhm.
It's kol mitzvahs Hashem. That's why it says all the mitzvahs.
Yep. Okay, very good. Yashkoyach.
Okay. Let's continue. Lou.
V'haya lachem l'tzitzis urisem oso uschartem es kol mitzvos Hashem vasisem osam v'lo sasuru acharei levavechem v'acharei einechem asher atem zonim achareihem. So it means, and they will be for you for tzitzis, and you will look at them and you will remember all the commandments of Hashem, and you shall do them, and you will not tour after your heart and after your eyes, that you stray after them.
Right.
So Rashi says, "Velo sasuru acharei levavechem." You shall not kamo mi tur art, like from spying out the land, which is a
From
reference,
exploring around. Yeah.
which is a reference to the spy.
I translated, by the way, you must not be searching, following your heart.
Right.
Okay, we'll see.
Chelev
Halev,
Halev v'ha einayim heim miraglim laguf. The heart and the eyes, they are spies for the body. Oh, I'm sorry. Misar serim lo ace ha'averos. My English says procuring for him sins.
Okay. So I translate as acting as agents. They act as agents to bring him to sin.
Right. I'm sorry. Ha'ayin ro'eh. The eye sees. Halev chomed. The heart desires. V'haguf oseh es ha'avra. And the body does the sin.
Right. So in other words, the heart and the eyes bring a person to sin. Basically, all the truth is, all the orifices of the head are instrumental in bringing a person to do Averis, but the eyes are the most, because they basically can, how should I say, absorb information in a larger spectrum. The eye sees further than the ears can hear, and certainly that the nose can smell. So they are the most influenced. Also, it's interesting, of the three major orifices, besides the mouth is very interesting because it has a double purpose. The mouth does not absorb information. The person, human being, has three, or animals, true, they have the same, has three instruments with which to absorb information: the eyes, the ears, and the nose. But the eyes are by far and away the strongest tool to absorb information. But also notice that, I'm not sure all animals, but many animals, but human beings for sure, we have eyelids. Okay? Whereas with the nose and the ears, there's nothing natural which closes up there's nothing natural closes up the ear or closes up the nose. You can do it manually. A person can close his ears like this, put his finger in his ears, or put the lobe in his, cover over the ear with the lobe. And similarly, a person can hold his nose closed. So the eyes have the eyelids correspond with this part and parcel of the eyes, is that we have eyelids that we can actually control our seeing. It's interesting over here that medicine goes hand in hand. Rashi says over here that the heart and the eyes are the, should we say, the spies of the body, and they are the agents which will bring a person to sin. What does it say in the pasuk? It says, "Lo suru," should not be searching, acharei levavchem, following your heart, v'acharei einechem, following your eyes. What comes first, your heart or your eyes?
Oh.
The pasuk says, "Acharei levavchem," after your heart and after your eyes. And Rashi says, "Faket." It says the eye sees, the heart desires, and the body goes ahead and does the avera. So the Chayyim should have said the other way around. Don't be drawn, don't be searching, following your eyes and following your heart. Why does it say the other way around? So the Parsha explain, and this is a very important thing to be aware of. The eye sees what the heart wants it to see. In other words, it's the heart that controls the eyes, that it sees what it wants to see. Can't think of an example right now. But you take a group of people.
Bias. It's the principle of bias.
Bias?
Principle of bias. Bias,
right, exactly. And this is exactly
person's mind manipulates the facts to.
That's why it's mentioned over here in Parsha Shelach. That's Mefarshim explained that the Parsha Tzitzis, that's the connection to the Meraglim. That the Meraglim, where did they fall? Because they saw the facts, right? Here's its fruit, just probably see the fruit. And we were only portraying the facts. right? That they were journalists, in other words, right? Portraying the facts. But it was what was behind it, what was their bias, right? In the way they portrayed the facts. Obviously, you could see that where they were heading to was that the fact is, we could only go if we have enough merit, we are strong enough physically to be able to conquer the land. But we don't have that. And therefore, anything they saw with, using the term, black eyes. Meaning, on the one hand, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made a nace for them that everybody died. Wherever the Meraglim went, people were dying. And the Chazal said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it specially that the local populace shouldn't pay attention to this group of 12 men who technically, in normal circumstances, would have looked very suspicious. Right? This group of 12 men walking around and snooping to see what's going on. The people were so busy with their own burying their own dead, that therefore they didn't pay attention to the miracle. So instead of looking in positive terms, they looked at it in negative terms. It's the way they looked at it. So where their heart was directing them, that's the way they saw it. So that's why the Pasuk says, don't follow your heart and your eyes, because it's the heart which is going to control what the eye will see. Okay? Okay, we'll stop here. Thought I would be able to finish the last book is a very long Rashi over here, but let's leave that film. Okay?
Bye, shalom.
A very good Shabbos.
Okay, have a good Shabbos, Rabbi.
Doctor, be well.
Okay.
Very good.
Yechiel, have a good Shabbos.
Thank you. What's the Parsha?
What?
What's the Parsha?
What pasuk are we on? I put my book away.
It's Lamed Chet. We were just discussing. No. I'm sorry. We were discussing Lamed Tet 39.
Right, in chapter 15.
Right.
Got it?
Amethyst.
What?
You can ask your question.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't make it out.
Ask your question.
Are you asking me if I'm going to put it on the internet?
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Very
Yeah,
good.
I've got the recording this time.
Okay.
Yeah, I just made a mistake yesterday.
Okay.